to come in, you're getting done.
Woohoo!
Okay, got the recording started, and it's only 1 minute. We'll start. I do know that Cassie is not able to make it. She's still not feeling well. And Tim said he's not able to make it, so I'm not even sure Professor Hall will be on here just yet. But we will get the meeting out of the way and done for the month. Okay, now it's officially 12. So welcome, everyone. We are doing our Nightingale College Student Nurses Association, the monthly meeting for October. And see if I can get my computer to work. Just a quick overview of what we're going to go through for the meeting. Just a roll call, motivational quote, any new news, old news that we have from the club. Talk quickly about the mid-year conference coming up in a few weeks. The Leadership U Honor Society that is sponsored through NSNA. The scholarship period is now opening up. Imprint Magazine and NCLEX review. So first thing we're going to do is roll call. And I will start it off. Mary Evans, chapter vice president. And whoever goes next.
Okay, I'll go. My name is Annette Phineas, and I am a student member.
Thank you.
Robert Potter, Director of Communications.
And if you guys can't talk, you can put it in the chat. It looks like we got everyone. Real quick, we're just going to do a quick approval of the minutes. Tim is not here, so I'll do it real quick. Last month, we did discuss, we elected our new board of members and discussed shortly over going spotlights, fundraising. Once again, we're going to talk about the mid-year conference. We're going to go there furthermore of our bank account and the status of that, and regarding the chapter dues. We're also going to discuss in our new minutes, our new news about our point system. We discuss about open office hours led by one of the board of directors. This is where any student can come in and just talk with any of us about NSNA and what it can do for you as a student. The meetings, which will always usually be the first Thursday of every month. We don't plan on changing it unless there's an absolute emergency and none of the board members can make it. And pretty much that our next meeting is today. So I just need 2 people to approve.
I motion to approve.
And I just need a second.
And anyone do it, like myself?
Anyone can do it.
Okay, I approve.
Thank you. So we try to start off with just doing a motivational quote. So our quote for this month is, nursing is an art, and if it is to be made in art, it requires an exclusive devotion as hard a preparation as any painter's or sculptor's work. And that is by Florence Nightingale. As we all see our quotes when we get our skills boxes. This next one is a video I actually found. I don't know about anyone else. Lately, I've been having a very tough time in school, mental, a little bit of everything. So I thought I wanted to share this with just everyone in our group today. It's from John Hawes of nursing.com.
Mary, no volume, my friend.
I don't know if I heard that.
No, there was no volume.
Okay,
sound.
then
I was able to read it though, so it was nice to read it at least.
okay, and I'll post a video later. I'm pretty sure just something happened on my end, but yeah, I found that and I was like, I kind of needed to hear that. Particularly the past 5 weeks have been really, really rough this semester. But I say that every semester. So we have some our new news, old news. We are going to be starting within the Nightingale Student Nurses Association a point system of involvement. So what does that mean? What does it basically entail, and what does it mean for us as members? Basically, we are going to create a point system of how involved you are within the SNA, and you'll get points. This would be for attending meetings, for being on camera, for going to the conferences, conventions, doing something in a leadership role as part of SNNA, Nightingale College SNA. You will gather these points and it will pretty much it's kind of like the community service award that Nightingale has. At the end of it, depending on your point system, you will earn a pin, graduation cords. The graduation cords, you'll get one, we'll say one from NSNA and then NSNA leader. And that's still kind of in the making. So as we come up with more details about it, we will release that news on the Facebook page. We also have an upcoming spotlight with Professor Winstead. She will be our October spotlight. And I'm very excited to have her because I've heard so many good things about her. And I'm inviting everybody who's on this meeting and future just to come and hang out with her. She's going to talk to us about what it's like to be a nurse, a nursing professor, any advice that she can give to us as students. Our November spotlight is with one of our own graduates, Amanda Notting. She graduated the winter class of 2022. She is also the first president of the Nightingale College Student Nurses Association. So she's the reason we even have this club today. So I'm excited for that one. And next week on October 11th, we have and Sarah, please correct me if I said this wrong. It is the Learners Involvement webinar. We will talk about this NSNA, and there's more student involvement. So please take a time to join us on that one next week. Further update, we do have an updated membership roll. We have 86 members currently active. So that would mean for the convention held in April, we will have 2 delegates. If we can get back up to 100, we have 3. And for the news on our bank account update and dues, we are still trying to figure out which bank we can use and how to make it just easy for everybody to pay dues and all of that. So as of right now, we are still not asking for dues. Unless I'm wrong about that one, Robert. But to my knowledge, we're still not asking on the dues just as of yet. We will update when we got that pretty much solidified.
That is correct, Mary.
I wonder why my keyboard's not working today. Okay,
It's
so
tired.
mid-year. Yeah, it's tired. I'm tired. I haven't even done any of my schoolwork. I did not say that on a recording. Shh. I'll deny all of that. So the mid-year conference, it is going to be November 2nd to the 5th. This is not anything mandatory as a member, but it is something good to join. They will have a review for the NCLEX coming up. They did change it to adapt the NGN. It will be hosted by, I believe she's with the Lippincott Review. And then also they have a grand exhibit hall where you can meet with other nursing specialties, recruiters for nursing hospitals, like UCLA will be down there. Other hospitals, pretty much you can check out who are the recruiting for new grad programs if you're looking for one. Also, I believe Remar Nurse will be there this time. And I want to say Nurse in the Making. I'm not positive. I didn't read the whole exhibitors list. In addition to that one, they also have different breakout meetings You can talk to like emergency nursing. That's the only one I can think of right now because I'm brain dead. But it is going to be held in California. So it's in San Diego. The conference and the NCLEX review itself, if you want to do both, is $95 right now for pre-registration. And if you just want to go to the conference, like if you live in Southern California and want to join for a little bit, check it out, $75 if you register now. I believe it is a little more, I think $10, $15 more if you sign up on sites. They did extend the hotel the hotel reservation until October 8th. So I will be going down there in a few weeks, and I hope to see everybody or anybody who can come. And if more information, check out the website. They have a whole lot more details. I do know they did bring up this one. They brought it at the last mid-year or convention. They're having simulation labs being done down there. So you get to participate like in a code or respiratory something. So it is pretty interesting to join. The Leadership U Honor Society. Now, this is an honor society, just like we have Sigma Theta Tau for Nightingale. So the Leadership U Honor Society is directly through NSNA itself. And they recognize members of NSNA on the national level. If you're an active member of your school, state, or national group, you're on the board of directors, you're a member of a committee team, which I know Robert said he was starting to get putting together. If you, as a member, create a project under NSNA, like I know 2 years ago we did part of the walkathon meetups. That is part of that one. You become a resolution author. You run for the national offices. That is all deemed appropriate for this honor society. There's nothing due, anything else. You don't have to pay anything extra as part of your dues. There's no GPA requirements. You just have to be a member of the National Student Nurses Association. So when you sign up, you are already part of the main national level. You'll just have to get Professor Hall or Professor Wilkinson to validate your application. And it probably takes, I think, 4 weeks to verify. I myself am on the Honor Society. They also give you an additional cord and pin for being part of that for graduation. Now, the fun part, we all need money. We're all broke, very broke college students. The foundation of the National Student Nurses Association has a scholarship program. It runs every year between September and January, and it is open to only NSNA members. They have over, I think, 250 partners. So when you put in one application, you are pretty much opening yourself up for all of the scholarship periods. To read back, I had to bring up, because I did say about the committee, Robert said it's a newsletter committee. And if you have time, little Robert, before we do the review, you can discuss that one out. But back to the scholarship on this page, and I will put the link in the chat. You fill it out. It is good for students who are going to be registered after summer 2024. And through Nightingale, 3 students of NSNA actually got scholarships. So here's 2 of ours. Ashley Brokaw and Erica Savoy both got a scholarship this past scholarship round. And Amanda in the 2022 round got one. So this is a great opportunity. It opens up for hundreds of scholarships for students. So I hope everyone can apply, get more information. And this picture right here, this is the last group of scholarship winners. If you are picked and you win, you will get an invitation to the national conference to join on this. There's like a private party for the scholarship winners. So these were our 2023 winners in Nashville this year. Imprint magazine, they just now released another imprint issue. This is only for NSA members. So this is something you get as part of your membership that you paid on your dues. It's they usually have some contests. I didn't see one in this one, but they break down on anything that we discuss as nursing students, and the articles are written by fellow nursing students usually. So different topics, like in this article, we have building creative confidence during clinicals, caring for health through climate change, and study hard and save lives. Study tips 2023. That's something I know I probably need to read. And as I mentioned with leadership you, so this, if you're looking a way to get involved, you're a good writer, or you just want to spread your knowledge and your advice to your other fellow nursing students, just not at Nightingale, that can be all around the nation, because this magazine goes to everybody who's a member. The Input Crew is always looking for articles to be published by NSNA members. The January Career Planning Guide, which is a guide that releases all different types of nursing fields, they're looking for an article to be due by December 4. The next one would be the next level of nursing and how to make those advancements in nursing and for the next generation. That one's due January 8th. And creating the life of your dreams is due March 4th, 2024. I encourage all of our members to write an article, because I'll probably read it, and I will probably share it on Facebook, because I like sharing all of our success with any students. And I think that is that one before we go into the review. And I don't see any of the advisors, but we can still go over them. Okay, so before we do
Mary,
that,
there was a
Robert, if you want to talk.
question. No, I was gonna say there was a question. I saw a hand raised, and then all of a sudden, but I can't see whose hands are raised because I'm not the
All right, if you guys
host.
have questions, let me know right now. Well, answer as best we can.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So, for the conference, are you to go to all days or can you go to one?
I believe they do like a day pass. So let's say you don't want to go to all of them, but you do want to see something that interests you. Like if you go to the website, they have already a pending schedule of who's going to be there on what days. So let's say you just want to go on the Thursday. I believe they have a day pass. I know they did it in the past conventions they've done so far.
Okay, thank you.
But let's say if you sign up for all of them, you don't necessarily have to go to all of it. Like let's say you just want to go 2 or 3 of them, you're good. I mainly go for the NCLEX review because I love doing those questions.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Robert can go more into that newsletter committee before we start our reviews.
Yes. So
Oh, there's Professor Hall.
there's Professor Hall. Hi, Professor Hall. So really quick, we decided that we've known that we needed to put together committees. And so our first one that we were wanting to do is a newsletter committee. If anyone is interested in just helping put it together.
Oh no.
Of the board and Professor
Sure.
Hall, Professor Wilkinson before it publishes. But if you're interested, let me know. And we'll start working on producing a newsletter that will go to our members once a month, just with updates and what we're doing, and then to spotlight different things and the layouts. And if writing and creating newsletters are your thing, then get you active and participating.
Hint, hint, that would be good for that point system we're working on.
Did you see the active and participating little
I
leeway
did.
there?
So you guys, I would be the biggest thing, like, don't be afraid that if just because you're not a board member or anything, you can't participate. The good thing about NSNA is you can participate in any level that fits with, of course, your time. That's the one thing we always want to do. We'll never ask anybody to, give up school, give up your work, give up your family time. You make it work within your own schedules. So that's the one thing where I want to stress. I'm pretty sure Robert wants to stress too. We're both very busy people, that it is all on your own time. And we got a question. You can come off mic.
So I want to participate and be more active, but I'm not really good with like newsletters and writing. I don't think that's my forte. Is there something else that I could participate in?
We are coming up. Oh, go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say we are coming up with other committees and other ways of participating. This was just the first one off the or out of the gate, because we are wanting to get a newsletter and information out, and so we did want that to go first, because we also have different avenues with social media and things like that. So we're really wanting to just get this up and going.
So are the newsletters going to be like, is it for more like content for like the social media or something, or?
It's going to be like several different things. Like we will probably post them in social media or on our webpage, our Facebook page. We will be sending them out via email to the members, and it's just like a recap of what the members are doing, what activities are going on. If there's activities or things that are coming up, like the mid-year conference, we'd have posted information about that. Leadership U would be in there. Anything that our chapter is doing or anything that can participate in that's coming up, that would be in there. Scholarship winners, if there's ones from our school, we would definitely showcase those. So there'll be different things, and that's what the committee will also be deciding, is what's going to go into each newsletter, and then they do get approved by our faculty sponsors.
And then my last question, sorry. As of right now, are there any other people that are in, or this is just being put out there right now, as far as like if anybody else is a part of that committee?
This is being put out right now for the first time, because this was we wanted to bring it to a monthly meeting first to everyone, and to see who would be interested in doing it. Just because our board, we don't want to be one-man shows or just us doing everything. Things like newsletters and stuff like that, where we can get participation and get you active and engaged. Definitely want to give those opportunities. I mean, this one is one that came up, and so we wanted to bring it to a board meeting, or not a board meeting, but a monthly meeting, for everyone, so we can get it rolled out, and get the information up and going. There are more things coming, and in the works. This is just the first one that's like I said, just right now our biggest need.
Okay.
There is also other ways. Like I said, I know when we first started the club, when we're doing the walkathon, Amanda and myself had both organized like walkathon groups in our communities. So you're doing two things. You're participating in the walkathon, and then you were kind of like highlighting for the SNA at the time. So that's one thing to do. We also, like I said, Robert, there's other committees. I know NSNA has lots of committees. The one that I know that might be is the breakthrough through nursing. So that's usually like you make a presentation, present it on the national level, and they might publish it on their site. There's usually like a prize involved for the students involved on that and the club. Not positive on all that information. I haven't really looked into it. So, but as we get more and more information out, we are going to let all the members know, because like you said, some might not be newsletter people. I personally hate writing anything after all my papers. So we're trying to make more ways for everybody to get involved at their own comfortable levels. And if Professor Hall is still on, we are going to do the NCLEX review now. So if everyone can hang on with us, she's the master of these questions.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I am here. I had a family emergency to pop up that unfortunately deals with nursing. So, hey, you guys. Mary, do we have any question about blood clots? Because that's what I'm dealing with right now. So, I am in the hospital,
Um,
so I do apologize for my tardiness. But do you have some questions for me, Mary?
I do none about blood clots. I kind of just pulled stuff out of Evolve today. So,
I'm sorry. Yeah.
okay. Yeah, my keyboard's still not working. It's all
The
Professor
thing is,
Wilkinson's
guys, is we
fault.
don't want the clots to travel, do we?
No, no.
We don't want to deal with the embolus. That's fine there.
Or for them to land in the heart. Let's keep it away from up
Yes.
high, please.
Yes. We want them to stay peripheral. All right, you guys, if you're ready, I'm going to read the question. So, the nurse is caring for a client who was involuntarily hospitalized to a mental health unit and is scheduled for electroconvulsive therapy. The nurse notes that an informed consent has not been obtained for the procedure. Based on this information, what is the nurse's best determination and planning care? All right. So, guys, we want to go back and look at those keywords. We see that we have a patient who's involuntarily hospitalized. Okay. So, that's a big one. In addition to, they are getting electroconvulsive therapy, guys. That is a treatment that is given when all other methods have been used in regards to pharmacological methods. And so the informed consent has not been signed. That's another key thing as well. So based on that, what would we do? Would it be A, the informed consent does not need to be obtained? B, the informed consent would be obtained from the family? C, the informed consent needs to be obtained from the client? Or is it D, the primary healthcare provider will provide the informed consent? So, guys, it really kind of goes back to principles that you probably learned in fundamentals when we're talking about informed consent. Okay. If you want to think about the concept of perioperative care, that's involved with that as well. So, what do you guys think? I'll give you a couple of seconds. D. Okay. They get put on a PEC. All right. Okay, you guys seem to be pretty confident about that. Mary, could you go to the answer slide, please? All right. That informed consent, you guys, needs to be obtained from that of the client. So this is the thing to remember. Although patients are involuntarily committed, we still do not restrict their rights. So patients' rights are still very, very necessary. And so they still would need to sign saying that they would want to do it. Now, in different cases, if they would have maybe like a legal guardian or something of that sort, the guardian would then sign the consent. But in this particular case, guys, they are not in a medically compromised situation. And so, again, we need to get that from that other patient. And it gets very tricky when we talk about mental health. Very, very tricky. But we do have to consider those rights. Any questions regarding that? Nope. All right. Next question, Mary. All right. A client presents to the emergency department with upper gastrointestinal bleeding and is in moderate distress. In planning care, what is the priority nursing action for this client? Thank you, Mary, for highlighting that. So, priority, you guys. What if you could think along these lines? If there was one thing that you could do to keep this patient alive, what would you do? All right. Keywords here: upper GI bleeding. All right, and then moderate distress. So, would it be A, assessment of vital signs? B, completion of abdominal examination? C, insertion of prescribed nasogastric tube? Or would it be D, thorough investigation of precipitating events? What are your guys' thoughts about this? And again, we're looking at the priority nursing action. What is the number one thing that you want to do? And guys, always keep in mind when we talk about priority, let's think of our airway, breathing, circulation, if applicable. If not applicable, we want to equate that of Maslow's hierarchy. So remember those things on the bottom of the pyramid, those things that are necessary to life. And if that is not applicable, I always like to think about safety from a safety aspect. What would be important to keep that patient alive in regards to priority nursing interventions? All right, Mary. So I see A and B here. Let's go to the next slide. It would be assessment of vital signs. All right, and the reason being, you in this particular case, you guys, taking those vital signs will give us an indication of the amount of blood loss that has occurred. So, particularly when we talk about uh, blood loss, we're looking at fluid volume deficit. I always like to look at those vital signs because my blood pressure primarily would be low because we look at just decreased cardiac output throughout the body, and that heart rate would be elevated because now we see that the body is trying to compensate for the amount of blood that has been lost. Does that make sense to everybody? Getting those vital signs? Yay,
It
nay?
does. I
Okay.
actually got this one wrong because I completely skipped assessed also.
And I think sometimes too, Mary, would you go back to the question? I've had learners say, well, Professor, it said, well, okay, this says action because sometimes it'll be intervention. And they was like, well, assessment's not an intervention when it actually is. Yeah. So best nursing action here. Yeah, we want to assess first and then we'll those vital signs and then we can go. Because, guys, let's think about it. If that blood pressure is too low and if it, guess what's going to be affected ASAP? Those kidneys are going to start to shut down. Okay. So we know what vitals are. We start fluids. We pump those fluids to be able to get that blood pressure back up to a viable value. Okay. All right. Thank you, Mary. All right, question number 3. The nurse is caring for a client with anorexia nervosa. Guys, we're talking about an eating disorder here. Which behavior is characteristic of this disorder and reflects anxiety management? So, guys, always try to think first, what do you know about this subject? Think about signs and symptoms of anorexia or how may that patient present. And now we're looking for characteristics of this order that may reflect they have some underlying anxiety going on as well. So, would it be A, engaging in immoral acts? Would it be B, always reinforcing self approval? Would it be C, observing rigid rules and regulations? Or would it be D, having the need always to make the right decision? Again, we're dealing with anorexia nervosa. I know oftentimes with anorexia, while you guys are thinking about it, we focus on the psychological aspect, which is indeed important. But guys, you also have to remember the physiological aspects that happens with anorexia as well. They have a big fluid and electric like shift going on, and in particular, we always pay attention to that potassium level because we now know. Um, with the shifting of the potassium, they run the risk of experiencing cardiac dysrhythmia. So we definitely want to address that. All right, so you guys are thinking that B is the correct answer. B, it's always reinforcing self approval. All right, what do we have here, Mary? Observing rigid rules and regulations. All right. So, guys, with anorexia, we ultimately, oftentimes when you go back and you find the underlying cause, it goes back to childhood. And I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, but you get some parents say, hey, you can't get up until you eat everything off of your plate or something along um, those lines. And so ultimately, what happens is they kind of develop this resentment in some cases, not in all cases. And so, hey, then they start to, well, I need to do this in order for my parent or guardian to feel better. So they then have the need to be correct or they look for perfection. Okay. with all of their decision making processes. So, hence the reason why they also hide, because they don't want anybody to know what they're doing, but they like to appear that everything is going okay. All right. And our last question for today, the nurse provides instructions to a malnourished pregnant client regarding iron supplementation. So, guys, we're going into the maternity realm here. Which client statement indicates an understanding of the instructions? Would it be A, an iron supplements will give me diarrhea? B, meat does not provide iron and should be avoided? C, the iron is best absorbed if taking on an empty stomach? Or is it D, on the days that I eat green leafy vegetables or calf liver, I can omit taking the iron supplement? All right. So again, we're looking at, we have a pregnant client who was unfortunately malnourished, and she has been prescribed that of iron. So we're looking for the correct answer here. So which statement indicates that she has an understanding about iron supplements?
I just want to throw off who's eating calf liver. All I want to know.
Guys, I stay away from livers and gizzards, but in the South, that is actually a very popular meal. Stacy's like, that sucks. Yeah. My mom tells me she doesn't know where I came from because I don't eat half the stuff they do. All right, so you guys are possibly on the day I eat green leafy vegetables or calf liver, I can omit taking the iron supplement. um, Mary, let's look at the answer choice here. That iron is best absorbed if taking on an empty stomach. Wow. Okay. So guys, we look at here. Key thing is because this patient is pregnant. So iron is needed to actually allow for transfer of adequate iron to get to that of the fetus. Okay. And one thing I always try to tell patients: maternity is not my my forte, needless to say. But when we're dealing with, maternity patients, I always say you also have the baby as well. So we have to think about how anything that mother ingests, how does that affect that of the baby. So in this particular case, the iron, we do want to take it on a empty stomach. Now, things I also like with any type of supplement, I like to have my learners think about, or what are some side effects that patient could have as well, and how can we help counteract those side effects that they may possibly have. Does anybody know with iron in particular, what is a side effect of it?
Constipation.
Yeah, that constipation. So guys, we tell them take a little Colace with it, and we tell them, and their stool could also turn which color, you guys?
Black.
There you go. So it doesn't scare them, all right? If you're not used to your feces being black, now it is. We want to just let them know up front is what is happening, okay? And another thing, no, I think that's it, you guys. Any questions?
I think it's best absorbed with orange juice too, right?
Yep, because it has that vitamin C. You're correct. Yeah, orange juice, anything where it's high in vitamin C, it helps with.
Okay, thank you, Professor Hall. I was just thinking, I knew about the black stools just because I'd taken them before, and yeah, that was not a side effect I wanted to see.
Yeah, but it's scary. We talk about iron, and peridium is another one of those medicines that we see with UTIs. And then people are like, okay, why is my urine orange? So it's always best with that patient education, if we're going to send them home on it, that they can understand, okay, this may possibly happen, so it won't freak them out.
Also important, let your caregivers know that too,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very, very.
because they'll probably be the ones who'll freak out too.
Yes, yes.
And that is the end of our meeting. Before we do close, just to let everyone know, the next meeting is November 2nd. I will actually be in San Diego for that convention, and if I can get away with it and not get kicked out, I will try to do
He
some
already
live
up there. I'm
feeds.
on a meeting. I'll be up there. What's up?
Are you?
All right. Good, good.
Professor Hall, still on.
Uh-oh. Hello?
I can hear you.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, just didn't think it was like patient thing. We
Oh,
gotta
okay.
remember that. Because she said you're at the hospital, so make sure.
Yeah.
But yes, our next meeting is November 2nd. That is the first day of the mid-year conference. If I, like I said, if I can get away with it, not get kicked out, I will try to bring some live feeds from there. But other than that, I hope everyone has a safe Halloween weekend that week. I'm pretty sure that's not a weekend, but we got this, you guys. School's not going to kick our butts. We've all made it as far as we have up to this point, and we're going to keep going on. I just
Mary,
need,
can I make an announcement really quickly?
sure can.
Yeah. For those of you who have HESIs in your class, I'm begging you to not wait till the last minute to begin studying. Just please try to do some questions daily to help in preparation. And again, we are here as additional source. If you need some encouragement or even just a review of some HESI style questions.
And to talk with Professor Hall on that, if you're in 346, just because you don't have a HESI in that class, my advice, do 20 questions, prepare for the exit, because it's pretty scary with that exit. From what everyone else is telling me, they could just been freaking me out though. But citing that, everyone, I just need 2 people to motion to close the meeting, and then we are good for the day. And it can be anyone.
Can I do it, Mary? I'm not
You
sure.
can.
I moved that the meeting will adjourn at 3:42. 1:42. I'm sorry, Mountain Standard Time.
And just a second. Okay, I see Stacy wrote to motion also. So thank you, everyone. Have a safe month. If you guys have any questions, we are here. Have a good day.
Bye.